normally only known by those who are really at our doorstep already. We need to do a better job of getting the word out on what we can offer and to pursue those individuals at a very early start.
Well, I'm very glad to hear this, General Kroll, and glad to hear your enthusiasm for this. Our readiness is only as good as our people, and if we don't recruit and retain the best and offer the kind of career incentives for people to stay in public service, then we can't mount an effective cybersecurity defense or response. So thank you for that. I have one other issue I want to raise. I am a big supporter of the Defense Innovation Unit, which has an office in Cambridge for piloting new approaches to technology, including cyber and software engineering. And I want to ask about one of those experiments. In 2016, the software system at the Al Udeid Air Operations Center in Qatar was so outdated. Are you ready for this? In 2016, airmen were using a whiteboard to manage aerial refueling. Now, in response, DIU worked with the Air Force to sponsor a small program called the Kessel Run to teach active duty Air Force personnel how to code. In the span of 4 months, at a cost of just about $2 million, they designed a software application that automated the refueling. And because the airmen now have the coding skills, they can continuously update that software to meet the mission. So maybe I could ask you, Ms. Miller, do you think having in-house coding ability like this can also help improve our cyber operational readiness?
Yes, ma'am, I do. And that's actually one of the skill sets. If you look at the list of specific skills that we know we need to mature, that is one at the top of the list.
So we're trying to build this in-house. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm glad to hear it. But getting the Kessel Run Development Lab up and running was not easy. I understand there was some real resistance within segments of the department. So the question I want to ask is, how can we normalize and scale these types of programs up and make technical skills like coding or cyber defense a core competency for active duty personnel and defense civilians? General Kroll, it looks like you want to answer that.
Yes, ma'am. This is an exciting question.
Good.
You're spot on. We have young folks who have zero experience in doing this formally, who are writing programs for us today. Going back to my answer earlier, the proper venue and outlet for this is to ensure that we have the right developers toolkits and the right coding infrastructure, the lateral limits left and right, so that they know what standards to write these to. We spent a lot of time and frustration in the department of trying to make these disparate software applications communicate with each other. And in the closed session, I can cover some of the solutions we have, but they are screaming for ways to contribute. And we are taking that on board, and it's showing great promise, but there is a lot of work ahead, ma'am.
Good. So again, I'm glad to hear your enthusiasm, but I sure want us to concentrate on how we can scale this up and normalize it within the department. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Senator. Okay, this will conclude the open portion of the session.